What's up, guys? Hope y'all are having a solid weekend. So as you can see, if you watched my last video, we are putting the new camper I bought to use. Nick and I actually camped in it last night, and we're planning on doing some solid photography today. But so far, we've just spent the morning making coffee in my new percolator that I bought, and just kind of enjoying relaxing outside. But the plan right now is to head over to what's called Watkins Glen. And Watkins Glen is this like beautiful system of waterfalls that with bridges that go over it here in upstate New York. It's like 2 or 3 hours from where we are right now, and so we're gonna get to driving, and I'll catch up with you when we get there. All right, we've officially made it to our campsite here in Watkins Glen. So there's only one issue, and it's the fact that this is actually Labor Day weekend. So there's about 1 million people in the park. It's 10 times more populated than it usually is. So going down and shooting the falls right now is probably going to be a little bit of a debacle. There's going to be people all over the place, and there's a 100% guarantee that there's going to be people in our shots. But I think we're going to take a hike over there and see what we can do, just give it our best effort. But then the big plan, the thing that we really want to do is tomorrow morning, we're going to try to wake up really early, and we're going to shoot over to what's called Taughannock Falls. I might be butchering the pronunciation of that, but I think that's how it's pronounced. And it's this really cool waterfall that's relatively close to here. I think it's like 30 minutes away. And you'll obviously see when we get there, but it's this really big, really cool looking waterfall that's inside of this little ravine. And yeah, we're super excited for that. But for the time being, right now, we got all our stuff set up, so we're just going to let it sit here for now. We're going to take a little bit of a hike over to Watkins Glen, where the waterfalls are, and we're going to see if we can get any photos, so let's do it. Actually, before we head anywhere, I'm going to show you around this campsite. So we wanted to get the trailer really close to the fire pit so we could have this door open and kind of have the fire pit right outside of it. So we pulled it in right here and tucked it behind this tree, which was actually really easy to do because the trailer is so light. Over here we got my truck obviously kind of blocking us in, creating this like little bit of a compound for us. And then right here underneath this tarp that's connected to the trailer, we got the kitchen. Super cool. We got the stove already. It actually works. We tested it for the first time this morning. And then right in here, we got all the necessary food supplies. Got some pots and pans in here. And then in the back of my truck, we got a cooler. So lots of people around here have those like gigantic fifth wheel campers. And I personally don't really like those because when you have something like this, it's so small that it's literally just a bed, and it basically forces you to get outside and be in the outdoors rather than just chilling inside of your mobile home basically. So I much prefer this right now, especially when the weather is good. When the winter comes around, it's snowing like crazy, that might be an entirely different story, but this thing is super badass. And actually yesterday we did some pretty serious off-roading. I unfortunately didn't record any of it, but we were hauling down some back roads out by my cousin's cabin, and yeah, this thing performed fantastically even off-road. We were hitting some serious bumps and it just soaked it. So very happy with this trailer so far. All right, now without any further ado, let's pack this thing up, get it all locked up, and let's do some photography. We made it to the waterfalls, and as expected, there's 10 million people here, so it's impossible to get a shot without people being in your frame, but that's okay. Took one shot from on top of this bridge up here. Came up pretty cool. I think if my lens was a tad bit wider, I think that it would have been a little bit of a better shot, but regardless, it wasn't all that great of a composition anyways. Right now we're headed down to the bottom of the valley, and so I'll keep filming, and I'll show you guys the photos that I get as we get them. All right, guys. So as predicted, there was about 14 million people down there. Exact number, actually, there was 14 million people down there. There was no way of taking a photo without having tons and tons of people in the frame, and it was almost impossible to use them sort of like as the subject in the frame like you would in street photography and things of that nature. Typically, when you would come to Watkins Glen, you're gonna have a tripod set up, you're gonna do a little bit of a long exposure using the river and things of that nature, but because of the amount of people, it was literally impossible to even fit a tripod anywhere down there. So that wasn't an option. I'm clearly winded right now because we've been walking back up this hill. Pretty much just headed back right now to do some cooking, do some dinner, and relax for the rest of the night. But I will keep you guys in the loop and show you guys what we're up to. right, dinner is served. The most standard, bland meal in the entire world, just ground beef and plain rice, but you simply cannot beat Frank's Red Hot Buffalo style. This is the greatest stuff in the world, so gonna douse it in that, eat it, and I think we're gonna make a fire and just kind of chill out for the rest of the night. I'll keep you in the loop if I take any cool pictures or anything like that, but if not, I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Morning, YouTube. So it's currently 6 o'clock in the morning right now. It rained all night last night, absolutely poured on us, but we beat the odds. We woke up at 5 a.m., packed everything up and hit the road. So Nick just took a real quick photo on his Polaroid of like the entrance sign. I didn't take any too exciting photos last night, but we did take a bunch of Polaroid photos. We were thinking that we could potentially take all these Polaroids and like decorate the inside of the trailer with them, which might be cool. So I'll show you a couple of those right now. But right now we are headed up to Taughannock Falls, which is like 40 minutes out of the way. So rather than just going straight home, we're headed to Taughannock Falls, if I pronounced that correctly. It's like 40 minutes away. Hoping for some decent sunrise light, maybe even some fog. We don't really know. It rained all night last night though, like I said, so we might get rained out. Who knows? Being optimistic. Hopefully it'll be solid. So let's get over there right now. Alright, so as you can see behind us, we've successfully made it here, and it is unreal right now. There's these like really cool foggy clouds right over the falls, and this shot right here is really symmetrical, kind of leading down to the falls, and it's looking fantastic right now. It's not necessarily all that bright, so I'm doing kind of like a half-second exposure. Thankfully this camera, the Leica Q, has stabilization, so I'm trying to keep the ISO low, but it's really, really dark still, even though it might not look like it because I'm at like 5,000 ISO on this camera. But yeah, we're gonna wait for some light to come around. Hopefully it doesn't start pouring rain on us, but yeah, it's looking good right now. Super pumped. Very, very successful session here. So there's literally nobody here, which is exactly what we wanted and exactly what we were planning for. And the fog rolling over here was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was super unique looking. I've never really seen anybody else take photos at this location with fog like that, so I'm super pumped about that. I think a couple of the photos came out really solid. I can't be entirely sure until I see them on the computer, as always, but I think for right now we're gonna wrap it up here, head back up to the truck. Both of us, I think, are actually gonna brush our teeth at the trailer because we just feel gross right now. We just woke up and drove straight here, but yeah, we're gonna start making the like 3 or so hour drive home, probably grab some food at some point, but all right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. What's up, YouTube? We are back in the office. Now that was a really fun weekend. And if you're wondering right now what this thing is right here, it's this new microphone system that I'm testing out, and I've been listening to the audio on the back of my camera, and I think it sounds pretty good. So let me know in the comments below what you think about this audio solution. It's like the new Rode video lav mic or something like that. It's a really cool audio solution. So hopefully it sounds good because it's really easy to set up. But yeah, this weekend was a total blast. The camper worked out so well, and we ended up actually wrapping up the weekend with some really solid photos. I was completely convinced about halfway through the weekend that it was going to be a total dud of a weekend photography-wise. There was so many people at Watkins Glen that it was impossible to get a photo down in the gorge there, and we got completely rained out overnight when we were camping, and I was totally convinced that we were going to wake up the next morning and just get rained out from doing any photography that morning as well. But thank God it ended up being super solid, and the photos that we got at Taughannock Falls were awesome. That rain that we got, actually, that I thought was going to completely rain us out and ruin the weekend photography-wise, actually contributed to those photos actually being better than I had even expected. Because of the rain and because of the way that the weather was, it resulted in this really cool fog over the falls that I've actually never seen in anybody else's photos of Taughannock Falls. If you're from upstate New York and you follow photographers from around here, you know that it's a really, really big spot to go and take landscape photos at. But honestly, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody with a weather system like that take photos there, because those clouds and that fog over the falls made it really, really cool. And I think that those shots were super unique, and I'm super happy that we woke up at 5 a.m. that morning to go get those. So over the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna start planning a whole bunch of trips all over the Northeast, going places in the camper that I just bought. So last year during the fall, I got some of my favorite photos actually of all time. If you know anything about the Northeast during autumn, all the leaves completely change colors, and it honestly is one of like the most beautiful places in the entire world to do photography. So I think I'm gonna start planning a whole bunch of trips up actually to Maine and New Hampshire and the Adirondacks, and I'm gonna try to use every single weekend when I have time off from work to go and create as many solid photos as possible. I'm so excited for it, and I hope you guys are excited to come along with me. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. If you enjoyed the video, definitely give it a thumbs up. It helps out the channel a ton, and it helps for my videos to get seen by more and more people, which in the end helps me to make more content. If you wanna see more of my future content and some of the really cool photos that I'm planning on taking this fall, going on trips up here in the Northeast, definitely hit that subscribe button below so you can follow along on my future trips, and I'll plan on seeing you guys next week. Peace.